it comes to epilepsy, it became apparent in our family when my sister Brenda got diagnosed when she was 13 with what they called petit mal epilepsy, which now they call absent seizures. Our family lived in the dark with epilepsy, i.e. it just wasn't talked about. I've got 4 children. The first child had febrile convulsions and she had 10 of them, so she had to have all the tests for epilepsy. Thankfully she didn't have epilepsy. I had my second child, she was fine, no seizures. And I had my third, who started off having a febrile convulsion with chickenpox. Then she started having seizures that didn't have a temperature. Then it was fairly obvious that they couldn't be febrile. This is when diagnosis of epilepsy started to be talked about. My sister has 2 children who also have epilepsy. So for our family, epilepsy is our life. It is what we deal with day to day. And at times, it feels like that is all.
My brother is suffering from epilepsy from the last 8 years, and I wanted to know as much possible, the seizure controls and everything. There needs to be spreading awareness about epilepsy, especially in my country where epilepsy is thought to be some kind of mental disorder. Definitely take medications on time and needs to spread awareness about epilepsy. It also feels great and glad to tell that I'll be volunteering for the society soon, and I look forward to spreading as much awareness as possible.
I've had seizures since I was 18 months old, but it seemed in periods of my time I've had long periods where they've been controlled and then they've suddenly come back again. So for the age of 18 months to the age of 7, I was having them quite on a daily basis, and then at 7 they got it controlled with mycilin at the time. At the age of 36 they said, oh, we're going to be getting rid of mycilin. In the end they didn't, but because it takes quite a long time to withdraw from mycilin because it's an addictive drug apparently, one of the older ones, they put me onto Lamictal, and it worked then. The generic versions came out, they put me onto the generic version of Lamictal, Lamictal, and I had a breakthrough seizure. And I went, of course, I'm a member of the Epilepsy Society, and I actually was reading stuff, and I belong to a local group, so I went straight to my doctor, and he said, oh yeah, I think you might be right, I'll just write down that you should have the, I put it on your prescription. So I started taking it again. Throughout my life I seem to be seizure free for long periods, and then suddenly they come back again, so I'm never sure what's going to happen.
Well, I've suffered with epilepsy for about a few years, but it really started to affect me when I hit my late 20s. Just talk to people, talk to your parents, talk to your GP. That's the best advice I could ever give someone, because it worked for me. And if you're really feeling down and lonely, start a diary, or just talk to people. The best advice I could ever give anybody. Talk to your friends as well, because they may think it's a bit weird, but they will always be there for you just as much as your family is.
was asking my parents what happened when I had a seizure, what happened. They didn't tell me. I need to know exactly because I don't know what happened. I need to know. I now know what happened, how epilepsy is all about, because anytime I had seizure, maybe on the way, on the road, I won't know what happened, but I'll see myself, maybe if I'm holding something, maybe something like pen or book or bag, I'll see my bag far, where I'm standing is far from where my bag is. So I don't know what exactly puts the bag there. So now I know exactly how the epilepsy comes and what happened.
My epilepsy started after a hysterectomy at the age of 54. I started to have these strange glitches. It was like a computer glitch, just things would just stop for a moment. It was like a zap in my head. I saw a neurologist and the neurologist said to me, it was anxiety. I'm a neurotic woman. Take antidepressants. I wasn't happy with that, so I saw a second neurologist. He said exactly the same. When I showed the third neurologist the bruises on my legs from the occasional fall, he decided to give me an EEG. The EEG clearly showed it was epilepsy. My message to everybody is, don't take it from the first person you see. Seek a second opinion, if not a third opinion, but make your voice heard.
I found it very difficult to start with because consultants said, no, it's just stress, you don't have epilepsy. And then I went to another consultant who said I did, and when I moved from Scotland I got told I don't have epilepsy, and I've recently just had a vagal nerve stimulator. Over the last 20 years I've had 6 types of drugs, and I'm still on two types plus my VNS. And I'm now finding side effects of my VNS, but it's early days because it's only been 2 months. But I'm getting my life back together. Don't let your epilepsy get to you, and fight it. Stand up for what you believe in.
Hello, my name's John. I've had epilepsy since I was 13. That was a good few years ago, as you can tell, because I'm 65 now and I'm still at work. The main thing is, I always say to people, keep working, lead a full life. It's not the easiest thing to do, but try. When I was 13, I know my parents, when I was diagnosed with epilepsy, my parents were a bit, what's the word for it? They were a bit ashamed, I think, really. And they wanted me to keep things quiet. But I took the opposite. I just let everybody know. And I've found that the best thing to do ever since. I've always led a full life, but that's important as well. Of course, me, with girlfriends, if you're a girl, make sure you have boyfriends, very important. And I'm married, I've got 2 children. Good gracious me, yes. So I'm still taking the tablets. And that's what I'd like to do, say cheerio everybody.